All right, guys, we're going to talk about handling objections. All right? Obviously, not everybody we stop by to see is just going to roll over upon the introduction. All right, so we're going to talk about handling objections, and not just specific objections, but more or less a formula for how to approach every objection that you get. Okay? So when you get someone that says to you, I'm not interested, which is probably the most common objection you'll get, or I can't afford it, I do that work myself, leave it in the mailbox, whatever the objection might be, I want you to take a systematic approach for handling those objections. The first key to handling objections is preparedness, being prepared. The way that you're prepared is when you walk up to the house, before you even knock on the door, before you even approach the house, evaluate the property. Take a look at what they need most. First of all, what you feel they need most as far as what we offer: windows, siding, gutters, leak protection, all right? See which one of those products they need most. And secondly, take a look at what other home improvement projects they may have done recently, whether it be siding, windows, roofing, doors, driveways, landscaping, anything, all right? Take note of those two things. So you're going to want to know, what do they need most, and what have they done recently to the house? That is going to help you in being prepared to handle objections. Because the number one thing you're going to want to do in handling objections is ask questions. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So, the reason He gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth is so you could listen twice as much as you speak. So when you get that first objection, I'm not interested. No problem, can I ask you a question? Can't afford it. No problem, can I ask you a question? I do all that work myself. No problem, can I ask you a question? All right? You're going to ask a question every time, because the homeowner is much likely to keep the door open when who's talking? When they're talking. If they're the one talking, they're not going to shut the door on themselves. All right? They're going to shut the door on you. The biggest mistake people make is feature dumping. They want to just say, well, we guarantee to save you 34%. Well, we offer $1,500 tax credit. We offer this. We offer that. It's not about what you offer. It's about seeking to understand before you wish to be understood. We need to understand their situation better. We need to, again, I like the analogy of the gun. We're going to pull our revolver out, and when we're asking questions, we're loading our gun. What are some great questions to ask, guys? Have you ever had an estimate before? Great question to ask.
Who did the work for you?
If they had something done, the reason I asked you earlier, take note of what home improvements they've done recently. Ask them who did the work.
Are they satisfied?
Ask them if they're satisfied with it. Ask them how long ago it was. Compliment them on the work. All right? What other questions can you ask? When you are ready, what's going to be the next home improvement project on the house? When you're actually ready to do something, what do you think is going to be the next project on the house? That's a great question to ask. All right? Have you heard of the energy tax credit? Have you heard about the $1,500 energy tax credit? Do you know how that works? All right? These are all great questions to ask, but when you ask questions, you buy time at the front door because they're going to keep the door open and answer your questions. All right? And you gain information which you can use to help you get the appointment. So, have you ever had an estimate before? No, I haven't. Well, I've talked to a lot of your neighbors out here, and they've all been complaining about the original wood windows. They're hard to open, hard to close, impossible to clean, not to mention the high energy bills. We're just showing people affordable solutions to those types of problems. So with that in mind, usually around here in an evening like this, or is it daytime better? Close for the appointment. All right? No, I can't afford it. No problem. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever considered doing 1 or 2 windows at a time? I hadn't really thought about it. Well, we have a great program where if you do a couple windows at a time, you can work your way around at your own pace. We'll freeze the price for up to 2 years down the road. You're going to beat out on inflation, work at your own pace, see the work done firsthand. With that in mind, when would be a good time to show you that program? Is an evening like this good, or is a daytime better for you? All right, we're going to give new information to make a new decision. People don't change their minds, they make new decisions based on new information. So if you offer up some new information about a program you offer, like doing a couple at a time, that's new information. So now you've earned the right to ask for the appointment again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So every time you get an objection at the front door, it's no problem. Can I ask you a question? You ever had an estimate before? Have you heard about that new tax credit? Do you know how that works? And you go in and explain. Well, it's $1,500 tax credit government's willing to give you for doing any energy efficient upgrades to the house. It's the best time to ever look into home improvements as a result. And we're just showing people how that works. So with that in mind, are you usually around in the evening? Or is a weekend better for you? Go right back in for the appointment again. New information, give them the opportunity to make a new decision. So it's all about questions, guys. Questions, questions, questions. That'll keep them at the front door, and then offer new information, a new program, new information for them to make a new decision. So let's get up at the front door, and we're going to role play. And every single time when we ask, are evenings or daytimes better, I want you guys to offer up, not interested, can't afford it. All right? Those type of standard, typical objections. And I want you to respond to those objections with questions. No problem, I understand. You ever had an estimate before? And then you can roll right into your feel, felt, found. Again, this is a formula that you can use. So no matter what objection you get, you can use the same technique. I understand how you feel. The folks down at this address, after you're done asking your question now. I understand how you feel. The folks down at the address on the flyer, they felt the exact same way. After they spoke with us, they found out we have a great solution for that. With that in mind, are evenings or daytimes better for you? So it's question, feel, felt, found, ask for the appointment. Question, feel, felt, found, ask for the appointment. You guys got that formula? Let's do it.
I'll go.